What's going on, world? This is your boy Troy, and today we're gonna talk about what women will settle for.
I spit hot fire.
I'm God, bitch!
Look up in the sky, is that a goon or green goblin? None of the above, it's a motherfucking dragon. Super Saiyan 2 to a cell, no problem. You put me in a cell, then you got
Bow down, nigga. I'm God, nigga.
What's going on, world? This is your boy Troy, and I'm your friendly neighborhood NGTOW, and I am your friend. And today we're going to talk about part 2 to what I talked about in the last video, which I hope you saw when we talked about a woman and her perfect man. Yeah. And today we're going to talk about what a woman will quote unquote settle for, right? So now, if you watched the last one, and if you haven't, I'll probably put a link, or there'll be some way for you to get it. It's not going to be hard to find, but we're going to talk about today what a woman is willing to like negotiate with, right? And so what do I mean by this? Because if you're a woman, if you watch the first one, you're probably highly offended, and I don't know why you're here, but I guess you just like the abuse because I'm that asshole that I said that you liked. But let's talk about it, fellas. Let's talk about it, right? Because a woman has a model of perfection that she wants from a man, right? And I should have mentioned this in the last video, which, and I guess let me state here, most women in this society are, particularly in this generation, are entitled as motherfuckers. Why is that? Well, there's a number of reasons for that, but you know, as little kids, as little girls, as wee laddies, as wee lassies, they grew up and they wanted to, you know, have their prince. And, you know, their prince was going to be a guy that was at least 6 feet tall, you know, 7-figure income. You know, I don't think they imagined sex that age. Well, you know what? With this batch of women, maybe so. Right? I'll skip over that little topic, and a beautiful, charming man. Right? So, and when I say what a woman will settle for, fellas, if you're not the woman's stereotypical standard of perfection, don't worry about it. All right, because it's damn near impossible, and if that is you, then great. If not, then you know, again, what I forgot to mention in the last video that I want to mention in this video is that these women, look, when I say what a woman will settle for, what a woman's value of perfection, I'm talking about just women in general. Like, I'm not talking about like the woman who's, you know, let's say that she's like we'll say the Kim Kardashian type, where she's, at least even with all the surgeries and makeup and spas and everything like that, where she's a perfect 10 in and of herself, and she can just command. I'm talking about your regular old Stacy that works at, you know, your office, and she's a secretary, and she just like, when she envisions her perfect man, that's what she pictures. You know what? This also brings up an interesting topic, because I was watching Steve Harvey. I was watching a Steve Harvey clip, and he's talking about these black women and what they want in a black man. And, you know, they have this list, and this woman was like, I want this. I mean, it was a whole slew of things, right? I know I've been rambling for a little bit, but, you know, I really, when I talk about settling, and why was I talking about Steve Harvey? Because it's one of those things where it's clear what they want, and even though these women are they're past their prime, they're over the hill, you know, they're you know, I mean, they're just, a lot of them, they're not even that attractive, you know, but they still want this perfect man, right? And when I say what they'll settle for, I'm not necessarily talking about, like most women, like I say, they have their standard of perfection. And let's say that you are a married man or whatever, like on the whole, that's what she wants. If you're anything less than that, then she settled for you. Because best believe if that guy came into her life and actually wanted her, which let's be honest with you, if she settled for you, I mean, I'm just being honest, like most, because we're all average dudes, right? So if you're the average guy, you probably got an average chick, and she if we talk about a woman's fantasy, right, where she wants to meet the Skylar Grays of the world, or I think that's the name, it's Tyler Gray, 50 Shades of Grey. Right, she wants to be the Belle to the Beauty and the Belle to the Beast. Right, she wants to be that woman who's not inherently, what's the word I'm looking for? She's not inherently exceptional on her own, but can attract exceptional things to her just by existing. Right, but let's get into it. I've been rambling on for way too long. And let's talk about what she'll settle for. Now, if you remember 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to use that same scale. Article is going to be available at bullsh.com. But what she'll settle for is this, right? So let's say that you you still start at 5, right? Only difference is, now instead of your 5-figure income or whatever, which she's still going to be expecting, you're also 5 feet something, right? So I think what most guys are 5'9", I believe, right? So if you're like 5'8", 5'9", I mean, look, if you're 4 something, god damn, if you're like 5'3" or some shit, look, man, I'm just gonna say, if you're 5 feet to 6 feet, 5 feet to 5 feet 11 with your shoes on, with your chanclas on, right? If you're 5 feet to 5'11" with all your shit on, then you make the grade, right? She'll settle for 5'11", 5'9". I mean, she'll settle for a short guy. Okay, all right. Be reasonable, Tammy. Be reasonable. Okay, all right. She'll settle for that. So let's take it a step further, right? Pretty much the same scale. We're just bringing everything down. So next is 6. I mean, you have a 6-figure income, at least $100,000. I mean, can you pull that in, or can you accrue resources that can amount to about 6 figures? Like, can you at least get a $100,000 house, your mortgages or whatever? I mean, can you save up 6 figures in your lifetime? That type of thing. I mean, are you worth 6 figures somehow? Like I say, either in a job, maybe you make that a year, maybe you save that up, maybe you have that tied up in a house, maybe you've spent in a weird way, because women, they like to, even then, like, even if you have 6 figures in a bank account, that's very abstract to them. They can't really see that. So have you spent 6 figures on yourself? Can you spend 6 figures on her? Can you spend $30,000 on a car for you that makes you look good, $30,000 on a car for her that makes her look good, $50,000 down payment on a house, something like that? It's kind of abstract, but she'll settle for the 6. She'll settle for the 6. Damn, that sounds like one of the worst, like, porno titles ever. Now you're right. Guest starring, like, Jenna Jameson, guest starring average man in She'll Settle for the 6. Got some, like, I don't know, 5'5" dude or 5'9" dude. Now my brain is going off into something else. But so that's the 6. All right, 7. Do you have a 7-inch cock? All right. Obviously, if you remember my talk about the 8-inch cock and what that means, does that necessarily mean you have to have a 7-incher or an 8-incher or a 9-incher or, God forbid, a whole foot-long sub? No, that doesn't mean that. This basically means 7 out of 8. Like, can you reasonably please a woman? Now, at the same time, look, we talked about what the 8 was. The 8 was like alpha, like, you know that, you know, 9 out of 10 women, or because we're talking about 8, so 8 out of 10 women, you know that you can serve her ass well. Not just like, was the sex good? Yeah, you know, it was good. Or I mean, can you bring her to, like, you know, knock the fuck out levels of orgasm, you know, type of thing? Like, that's what we're talking about. 8. If you're a 7, then you're like, yeah, I can make at least 7 out of 10. You know, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's not really, you know, my sex game is, you know, I can get it in. I can do that. I can please about 7 out of 10 women. Like, I can, you know. Yeah. All right. Well, then that's you. You're cool. You know, you consider yourself a 7. Now, obviously, this is very subjective. Very subjective. Some dudes, like, look, you really just got to be honest with you. Some dudes, you're going to say that you're an 8. You're going to say that you're a 7. Your ego really, really wants you to be. Right? That's what every dude, particularly young men, that's what they really want to be. Right? And then reality kicks in and we see what happens. But that's what it is. So 7, are you 7 out of 10? Can you satisfy 7 out of 10 women? Are you at that level? Right? Like I say, you may not be the best, may not have the biggest piece or whatever like that, but you can work it moderately well, right? And that's you. So we'll go with that. So we'll go with 8. 8. Are you an 8 out of 10 on the attractiveness scale? Right, now, before we talked about 9 out of 10 on the attractiveness scale. We talked about, are you pretty much like a fucking like Leonidas from 300? Like, are you, but you know what? I say Leonidas, but at the same time, that's more of a taller actor, right? But so, you know, like I say, regardless of your height, do you have that type of body that, like I say, you might not be there, whatever there is, right? You don't have the beach body, but like, let's say you can get yourself ready for the beach body in like 2 months or like 3 months. Now, look, like I say, if you're some type of bodybuilder, right, and you're in like a bulking phase or something like that, your body's not shaped or where, like, look, if you are in shape, right, then I'll say you're about an 8 out of 10. If you're like in exceptional shape, you look good and everything like that, then you're a 9 out of 10. Maybe I should have clarified that a little bit more in my last video, but you know, now we're on this video. And, some things get clarified, but, yeah, so, you know, it's one of those things where if you're a 9 out of 10, you're pretty much at your peak of performance. You're looking good. You know, look, now, when I say not, you might not be at like the show levels of bodybuilder status, but you can take your shirt off, walk around, and most people will be like, that dude's in shape. Goddamn. So if you're an 8, that means like maybe you're working on it, right? Like I say, maybe you're like, like I say, 2 or 3 months away. Maybe you're getting there. But this also means face. So like I say, you might not have the most beautiful face in the world. You might not be like, killing magazine covers or whatever like that. But you got a decent, reasonable face. Like, if you think that you have an average face, then fuck it. You probably don't, right? But on the whole, you have more leeway to work with right here. So once you have that, if you have all of the listed below, then she'll settle for you. You'll be like a 9-ish out of 10. So why is this important? Why Z am I bringing it up? Well, like I say, most women want to make other women jealous. They want to, attract something to them that is, and like I say, attract something to them that is worth value, right? So most women, the reason why they'll quote unquote settle for this, when we talk about perfection, like now I say, women, they'll settle for far less, right? But when we talk about what the woman wants in the perfect man, right? When we talk about what a woman wants in the perfect man, and you know, all this other good stuff, when we talk about perfection, this is what she will settle for. Now, if you're like, well, you know, I'm like none of these things. I'm kind of there. You know, I don't really have the 6 figures. I'm this, that, da 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 da. You know, well then, but I still got a good girl, and I still, right? Like I told you, when we talk about perfection, this is what she'll love. This is what she would settle for in the wake of perfection. And because this doesn't exist, which even in a weird way, this is still unreasonable for most dudes, right? Then she'll settle for the best that she can get, right? And because even then, on the whole, this is still an exceptional man. If you are this dude, if you are this quote unquote 9 out of 10, or if you want to say 8 out of 10, however you want to, I'll say 9 out of 10 because it's not, you know, quote unquote perfect. But if you are this 9 out of 10, then you still, like, understand that you are still worlds ahead of most men. You are still leagues ahead of most men in existence. So even if she walked into a club, a bar, or her church, or wherever like that with a guy like you, then heads will still turn. She'd still make a lot of women jealous. It still would happen. She just wouldn't walk in with like the Christian Grey, but she'll walk in with, like, you know, whatever Stephen Grey, right? I don't know if that's even a real character, but it's like Christian Bray, his Bray Wyatt. Right? But you know, look, on the whole, I guess I'll keep this video short. That's about all I really wanted to cover. Look, if you like this type of thing, this 8 out of 10 scale, head on over to the Enlightenment Manual. Get that. There's going to be plenty more of like this. I mean, we cover, you know, how, you know, scale of 1 to 10, women's bodies, men's bodies, personality, relationship types, friend types, God, so many things. Level of ambition, your level of grind, your level of leadership, like everything is covered in this thing. And I think that you would greatly value from that. And another thing, you know, with the Enlightenment Manual, it is 100% lifetime money back guarantee. So if you get this system and you learn absolutely nothing from it, you get nothing, you gain nothing, you just completely wasted your time, you'll get your money back. And it's also a great way to support the channel as well. Like I say, I know a lot of channels, you know, they like to bring up Patreon and stuff like that. We like to provide more value, like even then we try to provide as the best content we can, but also we like to provide even more value for those that want to support it. So if that's not your cup of tea, Troy Mason Exchange, great products, great things there. Able to partner with some good people with some good things. But on the whole, look, leave a like if you liked it. Leave a comment below. Go on ahead, tell me about how much bullshit female expectations are. I mean, that'll be a different video for a different time. And let me see. Oh yes, the next video, I rarely do this, right, but this is kind of a series. So the next video is gonna cover why you never talk to a woman about dating, why you never take a woman's dating advice, right? And a reason for why I'm doing that is because, you know, like I say, if you're reading the articles, if you've been following along with this series, you know, there's been some things, well, wait a minute, you know, some girl told me that she wants a man like this, and she says that money's not and I'm going to explain in so many words why that is. So look, with that, I'm your boy Troy. I am your friend, and I will see you on the other side.
was good. But it's the only problem, though. She said the dick was so good that as she started rocking, she just got into it, and all of a sudden, she said something just hit her. Bam! All upside his head. Just slapped him. Dick will make you slap somebody. So y'all need to remember that. That's what I'm trying to deal with. The fact.
More like constipated, cause you know I do not take shit. Maybe honey, give shit. Give this misfit. Like a small condom on this dick. Words are like bullets and my bullets go ballistic. Beat hit hard, Ray Lewis, hold a hit stick.